And a few days later, a friend of mine on Facebook, a black guy who's one of the conscious people, he posts this picture in shame of a black woman licking a white man's feet. Because she had on a slave collar and a leash, and I was just like, oh, what the fuck, I just did this a few days ago. I was like, you know what? At first I was like, oh, I'm kind of ashamed, you know, because this is my community. This is, you know, the people who are supposed to accept me. But then I was just like, you know what, fuck it. I made it my cover photo. I was like, this is me. This is who I am. Fuck you. If you don't like it, then get the fuck off of my Facebook, you know?
My kink is race play. I'm a switch. So I like, it depends on my partner. Sometimes I like to be the submissive, and sometimes I like to be the dominant one. But even when I'm submissive though, I tend to talk from the bottom. So I guess I'm more of a bottom than I would say a true submissive. A little bit of impact play. I really, really, really enjoy role play.
My kink is, I never had really one particular kink, but the one that I most definitely noticed from a young age, and still very progressive right now, is I've always had a lot of biting and just really bad levels of biting. I like to be the receiver of the biting, the giver, like all around, just biting everything. As time grew, it transformed from biting to a blood fetish that I ever participated in with close partners. But it wasn't something that, it was a lot of shame around when I first started doing it. And then after a while, it was just like, screw it. Like, what I do is my business.
Been getting to a cuckold situation lately, learning about those things. I've ran into couples in Texas that are into that. I've been involved in a few gangbangs and stuff. It's like things that I just discovered and got into.
My current kink is more, ooh, what do you feel like and how do you react to that? It's sort of exploratory and playful. I sometimes call it a entitlement kink, where if the negotiations work, I want to feel entitled to get all up in somebody's business, but I don't want to just do it without knowing that I've been gifted that entitlement. But when I have it, it's awesome. The kinks I've enjoyed span from dominance, being served is wonderful. I bottom to thud play, and very light breath play, like cuttings, scarification is something that I've enjoyed and have done in sort of a spiritual energy work context. Water sports, topping for it. I get kiddish about it. It's just this nasty, silly thing, and I'm giggling, and this poor person is down underneath me going, does this flow ever stop? But it's awesome. Oh, biting.
I think my kink is probably feeling like I'm having sex with a random person. So currently I'm in a very committed relationship, but I think feeling like something is brand new, that I have to kind of feel it out to know what's going on. So I would say random sex.
What I define is a masochist. I love it with everything in me.
I like to be masturbated on. I like to watch the sperm come out. I like it to get all over my body, my face, whatever at the time that I'm feeling. I like to be in threesomes.
Sexually, personally, I'm just into my husband and his dick and some toys because they're fun and amazing for enhancing the bedroom. However, with my job, just listen, I am booked to give sexucation parties, which is education on great sex. Any type of kink is one that I am familiar with, and about educating people on why masturbation is okay, why squirting, why anal, things like that. That's what I educate people on.
Dominance and submission, bondage. I guess I'm a little bit of a sadist too.
Some of my kinks are, I really like strap-on play. I really love anal and ass play. I like giving it and receiving it. I like power exchange, like anything where there's a disparity in power. I like consensual non-consent. So a lot of my relationships have such a scenario where somebody's allowed to do something that the other person really doesn't like, but they will allow it to happen because that's fun. I'm generally a top with most people, but I do have a dominant and I have a submissive. So I guess I'm a switch technically. With my dominant, I do whatever she tells me to do because that's my dynamic with this person and that's been established. With my boy, he does whatever I tell him to or I'll beat the shit out of him.
Names that people have been called because of their kink or sexual preference blow my mind daily. Basically, you know, the general ones that everybody know: slut, slut,
You get branded a slut.
And I was a slut.
It goes at hoe.
whore,
I've been a whore. I was and a whoremonger, which is awesome because that's like straight biblical.
trollop, degenerate,
Jezebel. That was just a fancy way of saying pervert to me, you know.
sinner, nasty,
That's nasty. I'm usually nasty.
demon, trash,
And I'm a harlot.
devil,
I don't want my people to tell me that I worship the devil.
Weird or wrong.
freak, weird,
You know, I've been a bitch. You know, I've been a nigger. Clearly.
no morals, no values, dirty.
And you should feel guilty about it.
How could you do that? Like, what is wrong with you? You know, like, that's just, you know, that's not godly, or that's not, you know, black, or whatever the fuck they wanted to call it. They just considered it to be wrong. Other people just was like, we're not going to talk to you. We're not going to hang out with you. You're nasty.
Heathen,
Or you're a sinner. It's another one. You're going to go to hell.
going to hell,
Why do I have to be mentally retarded, or, you know, like, had been abused or some shit?
Kind of looking at me like you're crazy.
you must basically have some sort of mental problem.
Oh no.
So for me, pervert, fine. I am a pervert. Okay. That's great. What else you gonna call me? Because I've heard them all.
I'm like, all right, I'll be that. Because that seems much more fun than some of the alternatives. So.
I have never had any backlash about any of my kinks up to this point. However, the reason why I'm blurred out right now is because I don't want anything like that to happen in the future.
All alternative lifestyles, swinging, open relationships, whatever, BDSM, it is predominantly white. Just going to a munch, me and my partner, we're usually the only black people there. It still feels better when you have someone else you can somewhat identify with. Part of the local kink community is a black community. It's actually pretty good from what I understand talking to people outside of Baltimore that have been here. How I found it was kind of through fact. I don't know exactly how I found more people of color over time. It's just I look for it, and then I connect with certain people, and that's what they want. Because I'm looking for it, usually people of color are looking for it as well, and it just leads us together. I can't say I found all of it, but I know it's out there, and I just make it an effort to try to connect.
Seattle is a pretty, I mean, it works really hard to be diverse, but it is a pretty pill city. And the center, the demographic it ends up reaching is also pretty pill. There was talk about how we can draw more people of color into the scene, what we can do. After that, it was Black Beat, which I found out through the Dark Connections DVD called Kinky. So otherwise, I just had to adjust to the fact that I was probably going to be the only black person on the dungeon floor.
I would love to have a black kink community, and I think it's so hard because we're already the minority. Then there are so many of us that are in prison. then you lose more to the hip hop scene, then you lose more to the conscious scene. So there's really not many of us left, you know, and then we're spread all over the country. I've talked to people who I know, you know, white people I know in the kink community, and they're all like, with there not being a lot of black females, that's one thing that I never worry about, is like being discriminated against in that community. You know, I think that would be the ones that accept me the most, you know, but being black, the only place I ever wanted to be accepted was in my own community. All the prejudice I get in my own community for just not being like them, for not, you know, dressing like them.
The point of kink is to have everything be out on the table. So if everything's going to be out on the table, I want the sexism out on the table. I want the racism out. I want the ableism out. I want it on the table. And I did start to find those people. It's kind of like you got to weed through the ugh to get to the good.
Black kink, I'm honestly saying no. I actually met up with a few guys that are a group or whatever that just commits to doing gangbangs and stuff for people, and that's about the closest to black kink that I've discovered.
There is a local kink community which I am not involved. I am not involved in it because I have children and it's time consuming. I like diversity. I'm diverse. So yeah, I would like to have a diverse crowd versus any one specific ethnicity.
I was part of Whippersnappers, which is for kinksters under 40. There is the Black Atlanta Munch, BAM. I've been to a couple of meetings, but I didn't really feel like that was where I was particularly connecting with the people who were interested in what I was interested in. I happen to have a lot of friends and they're all kinky. So because I have these friends who are kinky, I don't really have to go searching for those communities or have to be part of formal, you know, organizations, kink organizations. And I love the fact that we have several of those organizations in, you know, where I live.
I really feel like I have two separate families. I have my blood family and my leather family. And if I had to tell you who helped me more, I couldn't, you know? And that's including growing up, like, even with everything that entails, these people have been there for me. So I know everyone doesn't have that experience, but I'm really lucky.
I really like the term pervert. I really do. I understand that it's been a slur, it's been an insult for a long time, but I mean, it could just be kind of fun to just cut my eyes at somebody and go, oh, you are such a perv. And they grin and they're all proud of it. I think a lot of us have reclaimed it to the point where we almost kind of forget that it was something that could get people arrested, possibly even killed.
Would I identify as a black pervert? Yes, I actually think I would, in a sense, but not perverted in a sense of abnormally or, you know, anything crazy-wise or whatnot. It's just enjoying things that I've discovered that you can do. Some things are probably looked at as perverted, but in this day and age in society, as far as the kink community is concerned, a lot of those things, a lot of those views are changing. So.
But I found interesting, though, was my reaction to the word pervert. Because for me, I mean, I like using kinkster. I'll say I'm a kinkster. But pervert, to me, I always associate that with something negative. I don't think what I'm doing is perverted. I think what I'm doing is I'm liberated. Pervert, that would be a phrase that I guess maybe it's just terminology. Maybe it's something that, you know, there's another generation that claiming that word, you know, like reclaiming it and making it something positive.
I also like to say pervert because my mom tells me I'm a pervert. So she's usually right.
I think in some way we're all perverts, you know.
I am a pervert. I guess I'm a closet pervert.
Yeah, I'm a pervert. Hi, how are you? Would you like to come to a party? You can see if you're a pervert too. Wee! So.
I tell everybody I'm a pervert. I am fun. I tell everybody, I don't give a fuck. I'm one of the biggest pervs you ever meet. And I'm okay with that. I'm like,
It's like, well, you've been calling me a pervert, but you're afraid of my sexuality as a black woman. You're afraid the power of what that means, and you've been trying for centuries to control that. And now you're just trying to throw another word on it. Because the real perversion is white society. The real perversion is colonization. That's the real perversion.
I am Birdie, and I am a black pervert.
I am Jackie, and I'm a black pervert.
I am Mrs. Delicia Davis, and I am a proud advocate of black perverts.
I am Monet, the sex sensei, and I'm a black pervert.
I am Tracy, and I am a black healer.
I am Roberto Carney, and I am a black pervert.
I am Storm Decay, and I am a black pervert. I'm just hoping like those people who feel the way I feel, who are hiding like I hid, will see me and be like, well, there's other people like me, so maybe I just need to stop hanging with these people and go hang with someone who's willing to accept me for who I am. You know, so that's what I'm hoping for. I want people to see me and leave me alone, and hopefully I influence somebody else to do the same thing, you know, and just be free, or be free with me. You know?